This is your city. This is your city wants to know. We want to know the background, the heartbeat of what makes up our beautiful cities. We dig into the backstories, from the struggles to the successes of our local entrepreneurs, small business owners, artists, not-for-profit organizations, and the many, many people who make up the intricate tapestry of our communities. Real people, real stories, by you and for you.
Hello, and welcome back to another episode of This Is Your City. As always, I'm Kim, your host. We are well into season 3, and I am so excited that we get to continue this journey together. It's closing in on Christmas 2022. And one thing that got me thinking at Christmas was pets. A lot of people like to give pets for Christmas. And please don't send me any hate mail. I'm really not a fan of this, only because it's an idea, it's an ideal, but the reality of pet owning sometimes doesn't take effect until after Christmas. And a lot of parents or loved ones want to buy somebody a gift because it's cute and cuddly. But then the reality is this is a live creature, a living creature. And when that little bit of fun and excitement wears off, what happens to the animals? And so that got me thinking about that. And my guest today, she's well aware of pets that are not wanted, pets that get abandoned, pets that get abused. She is the founder of Ozzie to the Rescue. She is an incredible pet-loving human being, incredible heart for our fur babies. Her name is Jennifer Cormier. Jennifer, thank you for coming on This Is Your City today. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, excellent. Well, I'm happy that you decided to be on this.
Well, thank you for having me.
Well, we met.
Yes,
I
we
volunteered.
did.
My daughter and I was volunteering. You had this amazing event with photos with pets with Santa. And that's how I met you. And right away I was like, oh, my listeners need to hear about this. And so that's what we came on. So we'll just start there. We'll start there with this pet Christmas first. Okay. Why do you do that?
Well, as people must know, there is no money in rescue. And every dog that we bring into our rescue needs full vetting, either spays, neuters, they may have more medical issues. And my paycheck only goes so far. So we do these events to help raise money towards that.
Yeah. And while we were there, we saw the hearts of some of these pet owners who came in. It was extremely inexpensive, probably the most inexpensive pet photos with Santa I was shocked when I heard that it was only $5 a dog. And I was like, oh, well, okay, cool. And I think others realized how inexpensive it was. And so they were just giving, here's 20.
Yes.
Here's 30, here's 40, here's, people were very, very kind. And came in with their puppies for Santa. We had big ones, small ones, little, we had all kinds and colors. It was awesome.
The little itty bitty ones are the cutest.
Yeah, I'm a big dog fan, so I even loved all those big dogs, but It was an awesome day. And to see people come in and see what rescuing, because I saw it firsthand that day.
You were raising money. The new puppies. You got to see our new puppies that came in.
Yes. Oh, speaking of puppies,
I got 5.
So while we were there, there happened to be these 2 dogs in like a what were they? Pardon?
The ones in the wagon or the ones in the X pen?
So the wagon first.
Yes.
So we came in. They have these 2 little doggies, and both of these, they are little doggies. Both of these doggies are special needs dogs. Their hind legs don't work. And these are yours. You foster these 2, I believe.
Yes, I do.
Right? Yes, you do. What was their names again?
Wiley and Chico.
Wiley and Chico. And we'll have some photos up along with this. So
I've got them right here.
Yeah, we'll have some up during the podcast when it's sent out. We'll have them all up nice. And so they kind of scurry along on their front paws because their back legs don't work.
Correct.
So not only do you get abandoned and abused, but you also get special needs animals.
Yes.
Which is in a challenge of their own.
But they're the best. They have no idea that they're different.
Right. And that's the way it should be, even with humans.
Absolutely.
And then while we were there, literally 2 puppies were dropped off and rescued and brought into where you were doing your photos.
Yep.
That was like, wow. You named them? What did you name them?
Fiona and Lady Di.
Lady Di, 2 little puppies, about 11 weeks old. Now, the thing with these puppies, I'm just going to tell my listeners, oh my gosh, they were so cute, like so cute. They stunk because they were, their own urine and feces. It's so sad. And Lady Di had a paw infection.
Yes.
They, oh my gosh, Lady Di was so skinny. The bones in her hips were just sticking out. And by the time we left, because of your care and your love, Jennifer, your time in those few hours, you cared for those 2 dogs in a hectic scene because there was a lot of other dogs around.
There was.
By the time I left there, Lady Di and Fiona, their tails were out. They weren't wagging too much, but their tails were out and curled, which if you don't know, is an amazing sign for an abused dog, because when they came in, their tails were tucked so far underneath and stuck to their bellies and shaking.
Yeah.
With just the love that Jennifer had for these 2 puppies, by my time there, their tails were out and they were licking her and they were close to her. Jennifer picked up these dogs that smelled, and their white fur was yellow.
Yes.
And she held them so close to her and she was kissing them. And I literally welled up. I'm going to do it now. Yeah. I literally welled up with my heart of joy for what you were doing. The love those 2 dogs just received.
That's my heart. That's my passion. I've been in rescue for, I want to say, at least 30 years.
Well, how did it start? Let's go back.
I think the first one, somebody just walking by and I'm like, oh, hey, cute dog. You want him? Here's a leash. Yeah, you'd be amazed. The average person does not know what I see every day. And that started out, like, my son was a toddler when that happened. And the first one, his name was Barney, and he was a beagle. And he was with us he was an elderly dog. So he was with us for about 6 years. And then it just started from there. I got to be known as the dog lady. I guess it's as good as being called a cat lady, but
I was going to say, instead of a crazy cat lady, you're a crazy dog lady.
I am. My husband never knows when he comes home from work how many dogs are going to be in the house.
Well, what a wonderful man to allow that too.
He takes his allergy pills. Every once in a while, he tries to put his foot down, but it's like, no, this is me.
Yeah.
Right?
And when did you start Ozzie to the Rescue?
That was, I'd say, about 4.5 years ago. So I was volunteering with another rescue, and I was their transport manager. Not going to say names, but I didn't like a lot of their procedures and policies. So I left there and I started my own.
Yeah.
It was easy.
Who's Ozzie?
Well, that's Ozzie Osbourne.
Okay.
Ozzie, I love Ozzie Osbourne. Even though I'm a country girl, I still love Ozzie Osbourne. And it just kind of suited the name, Ozzie to the Rescue.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good name.
I like it. It kind of flows really nice.
It does. And Ozzie to the Rescue. So you rescue animals. We'll get to that in a second, like in the States and the kill places.
Kill shelters.
Kill shelters, sorry. We'll get to that in a second. So you rescue animals. You have animals up for adoption.
Yes.
And you have foster parents for animals.
Yes.
So you're looking for foster parents.
Always looking for foster parents. Always.
And how hard is that? I mean, it's hard enough. I have friends who foster children. God bless them. Thank you. But fostering animals is well, because you become so adapted and so you love them.
You do.
And then you give them back.
It's getting them to have their own home. So
Forever.
we've had a few fosters, like Nancy. She had one of our dogs for over 6 months. So Coco came to us and she was horrific skin. Horrible, open sores. She was bald. It was horrible what she looked like. So, I mean, we did all the blood work, had her on the medications. Every other day she was doing the Epsom salts baths on her, you know, special shampoos, special food. She could only eat rabbit food, either the kibble or the raw, because it cools the skin down.
Okay.
It took us 6 months to find her the perfect adopter. Coco has autoimmune deficiency. When she gets stressed out, it reacts, right? So we found her an adopter that has autoimmune deficiency.
That's awesome.
You can't get any better than that. She knew everything that she needed to know about Coco's condition. And I mean, Nancy had her for 6 months. She was upset because she was close to her, but she knew she was going to a good home.
Right.
So
Yes.
most rescues don't put their fosters in touch with the adopters. We do. So Nancy, once a month, gets an update on how Coco's doing. She gets an update on all her fosters that she's been taking care of.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. And I love the process you guys go through. It's not really an easy, I don't want to scare anybody away, but I think it's a good thing that it's not really an easy process to adopt a dog, which again, I like. And because you want to make sure that this dog has its forever home, and it's not like, oh, just a Christmas gift, right? That somebody's gonna, or maybe it's too much.
I don't do puppy adoptions at Christmas. Like we have, no. We will not put those new puppies up for adoption until at least the end of January.
Oh, I love that.
I don't believe in dogs for Christmas gifts. I don't.
Me either.
Part of our adoption process, and a lot of people get really, I can't say angry, but they don't want to divulge all their information. So we ask for your vet. Whether you haven't had a dog for 5 years or you've had a dog for 10 years, we want your vet information. You know why that is? Vets cannot lie. They have to tell you the truth. It's against, like, they will not risk their license. So we've called the vets and they're like, oh, yeah, no, I wouldn't. Or then we have the other ones we call and they're like, oh God, I would give them my dogs.
Wow. Yeah.
You know, so that makes it easier on us.
Yes. Yeah.
Because you can give us references, but it's easy to call up your friends and say, hey, Ozzie's going to call you for a reference. Just tell him I'm good.
That's right. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, we're not stupid. We've been doing this a long time. So our vet reference is our main one.
And I, just from my own experience in the past, I know people have went and rescued puppies, and this is really sad. This was a while back. I knew some people who wanted certain breeds of dogs so that they can breed them, or they could fight them. So, you know, if you're just going to go adopt a puppy for nothing because it's a rescue dog, basically, it's not like you're spending money to adopt, but it's not as much money as if you were going to the breeders and stuff. So they would do that. And that's kind of, oh, it was so sad.
So a lot of the dogs that we bring from Texas are mostly small dogs. The reason we do that is because it's a $25 fee to adopt a dog in Texas from a shelter. It's
nothing at all.
They use them as bait dogs.
Right.
So we see especially the senior dogs, because there's no fight to them. And they only have 3 days in the shelter before they're euthanized.
That's good then, because I wanted to talk about that in this meeting, this interview too. Some of the dogs that you bring in are from Texas, and I have two friends of mine who have dog rescues. Both are from Texas. Are they both from Texas? Both of her dogs were from Texas, and they were both. One was completely blind. Completely blind. He just passed away, but she got another one, and he was abused. He's almost blind in one eye, and they were rescued.
Sorry.
No worries. They were rescued from Texas as well, because there's just a huge problem in Texas right now, and you would know better.
Texas, your dog is property. It's not a family member. The first time my transport driver came in from Texas, and we met at Niagara Square in Niagara Falls. He's standing there and he's looking around. And he's just kind of looking around and I'm like, you okay? And he's like, it's so clean.
Oh,
You don't have stray dogs. No, we don't. We love our animals. Our animals are in our home. They're not running wild, getting hit by cars. They're not out getting pregnant and multiple dogs running loose.
yeah.
I said, that's the difference of Canada to the United States. Well, mostly Texas.
Yeah. You work with a transport company or a transport driver or what have you that brings them here.
Yes.
And how does that work? So people know.
Well, I mean, nothing's free in rescue. So we get all the dogs vetted in Texas. Our transport driver charges us about $250 American to bring them all the way from Texas up to Canada. It's if you would see their van that they come, it's one of those transit vans. So it's a really high one. They can carry, I think it's like 93 dogs.
Wow.
Yes. But every single dog is secured in a crate. They get walked every 3 hours. They have AC and they have heat. They've got their water, their food. You can send their blankie with them from their fosters in Texas. Like the people that do my transport, amazing. I
Yeah.
love them to death, as well as my transport driver's wife is my medical foster in Texas.
Oh, nice. That's
Yes,
awesome.
she does all my x-rays for me. She's a what is she? Surgical, I think a surgical nurse it's called. So anything that I need done x-ray wise, she does IVs, she does fluid under the skin for me, takes care of any puppies that end up with parvo.
Mm.
So it's a community. It's a huge community of rescue people.
Yeah, and they're gonna love the dogs because they're volunteer. I mean, he charges you $200. That's really not a lot if you think
No,
about
it's
it.
not.
Not at all.
No.
But this is a network of volunteers. These are people who have it in their heart, who love the animals and want to
Yes.
see the best for them. And another thing I found out, Jennifer, with you guys, I was reading some stuff about you guys, and when somebody adopts or rescues, you guys supply them with pretty much everything they're going to need, right? Like you supply the crates, beds, food, toys.
That's for our fosters. Yes, we supply everything. Pee
That's
pads,
for your
crates.
fosters.
Yes, everything that they need. We give them their food. We pay for all the vetting. If anything happens, we send them off to our vet.
Wow.
So nothing comes out of their pocket. The only thing they have to supply is the care and the love.
And the love. Yeah,
Got to throw that in there because these dogs come broken.
they do.
They
It
really
takes
do.
time. It takes time. It just, don't think of them as just an animal. I mean, they have feelings, they have brains. It's like humans. Once we're all broken in certain ways, and it takes time for us to heal.
Yep.
It takes time for us as humans to trust. So the animals are no different. Give them that time, give them that love, give them that space, give them that care and trust, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I have one of my own Chihuahuas. He's from Texas. He was a year old when we got him. When we got him, we couldn't touch him.
Mm.
He had been a street dog for a year. It took us 2 years for him to be able to jump up and jump on our lap.
Wow.
And he still panics, like new people that come in the house. It's like, oh, I mean, he thinks he's a pit bull, but he's 6 pounds, But he's very standoffish with new people, friends of ours. I mean, they're here often, and it took them over 2 years to be able to just pet him.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
it's a lot of people don't understand rescue dogs. And how many people return dogs because, well, he's not going to let me pet him. I can't cuddle up on the couch with him.
Right.
Well, it might take you a year to be able to do that. Right? I mean, it's not an instant thing. These dogs are broken when they come, and they need to trust and learn to love again.
Yeah. Yeah. And
guys.
Just in case people are asking, okay, why do you bring them from Texas? Can't we rescue dogs here? What would you say to that?
Believe it or not, all our shelters here bring their dogs from the States. We don't have any stray dogs.
Yeah. And they have the
Oh.
kill shelters, right?
They have the kill shelters. So if an owner surrender goes in with a senior dog, they literally walk in the front door, hand the dog over, the dog goes to the kill room. They
Wow.
don't bother to try and find a new home for it. They don't bother to find out why it's coming in. Any dog that's a stray on the street, puppy to adult to senior, if it's found on the street, it's got 3 days.
Right.
Nobody comes to claim it. Nobody wants to adopt it. It gets euthanized.
Right. And so that's why, and you rescue those dogs from the death penalty.
We do.
Yeah.
We do. We pull them. There's times where it's like they have like 5 minutes to spare, and it's like, okay, I want that dog. Somebody go pick it up for me.
Yeah.
Right.
And when you say we have no stray dogs, I want my listeners to understand you might see stray dogs out there. You might see some, but if you've been anywhere else in the world, you'll understand that Canada really doesn't have
It really doesn't.
stray dogs. Like you might go out into the prairies. I've been to the prairies and you'll see a few wild dogs and stuff, but it's not the same. Like I've been to Egypt and the dogs, the population of stray dogs and stray cats in Egypt, or like as you said, Cuba or even Guatemala. Like I've been to a few Latin American countries too, and we don't have stray dogs.
Nope, we
We
don't.
need to go see those places to understand what we mean when we say stray dogs. So yeah.
I get any day of the week or any day of the whatever weekends, it never stops. My phone is constantly that we found this stray, we found this stray, and it's like every second. I actually shut the ringer off on my phone because it would be bouncing off the table all the time. It's ding, 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 ding. It's somebody found this one. I need help with this one. Can you help me with that one? Bring this one over here. It's constant.
Yeah. One thing I saw on your website that I really loved, because you partner with others as well, other rescue places, right? And on your website, you have a place. I think it's under more. You go under more it's under Adopt a Pet, maybe. Hang on, I got to remember. Let me go onto your website here really quickly. I think it's under more. Foster, volunteer, owner, surrender. Adopt a Pet. Yeah, it's under Adopt a Pet. There we go.
Okay.
And at the bottom and stuff, it says rehome a pet. Ozzie to the rescue.ca. Go look around on that webpage because there's a lot, and you can go under the more. But there's a section on there under Adopt a Pet, and you just mentioned something there, like if it's a senior, people, they just kill it. Or this website kind of gives you some tips how to deal with a senior dog, how to deal with certain behavioral issues. It's really informative, and it's a collaboration between a few different places of pet rescue, which I'm really happy that you do, because you realize that you guys need to work together.
We do.
Right. And so Ozzie to the Rescue website really has some informative places on there to go and see how to take care of your pet, how to take care of your rescue, how to take any pet, right? Really, a sick pet, a cat, a dog, a senior dog, if they have issues with their breathing or whatever it is. I really love that your website offers that. So for my listeners, go check it out. And even if you're not in the Niagara area where Ozzie to the Rescue is, find a place near you. Yeah. There's some in every province, cities, right? Rescue dogs, fostering animals, foster a pet. Myself personally, I can't have a dog. I can't have animals because of my work schedule and my life. It just doesn't coincide. It wouldn't be fair. But I love animals so much that I babysit for other people.
That works. That's good.
It works. So I can see my daughter, when we were there volunteering for you, my daughter's like, well, why don't you be a foster? I'm like, well, because a foster, the dog is with me always until somebody adopts it. But it's been in my head ever since. It's literally been in my head ever since. Well, why can't I do that? Because I do travel a lot with my job, so it's kind of not fair to the animal.
Well, I'm going to tell you something. Sometimes we need babysitters for a weekend. Like if our fosters are planning to go away for a weekend, we need a babysitter for the weekend for the foster dogs. That's also another way of doing it.
That's a good idea. Yeah, babysit some animals, right? We babysit for our friends' kids and stuff. We can babysit.
Oh, not me. Kids, I do
I don't
dogs.
really either. I say that and I'm like, no, I don't really do that anymore either.
Yeah, no. I'm good. I do dogs. They don't talk back. They love you unconditionally. I'm good. And yes, I have a son. He's 30.
Yeah. I'd much rather babysit the animals myself, for sure.
Oh, absolutely. They're not as high maintenance as kids.
Yeah. Yeah. Like some people go away on vacation overseas, whatever they do. And sometimes I babysit their dogs. Typically they come to my home, but I understand sometimes we'd have to go to their home, check on, do stuff. But
Like my God, I've got two that have extreme anxiety. And yeah, they're very comfortable in their home. So it's hard to take them out of their home.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense. So what would you say to people who are saying, wow, I can foster an animal? What would their steps be, Jennifer?
Well, they can go on to our website, aussietotherescue.ca. Under forms, you're going to see the foster forms. You fill it out. It comes directly to us. We process it, of course. And yeah, I mean, we have a foster coordinator. So if you get approved to be a foster, we're not there 24/7 because we do sleep. But we are there, like once you're part of the Ozzie group, even our adopters, once an Ozzie dog, always an Ozzie dog.
Right. So
I mean, I still get calls from my adopters. Hey, Jen, this is happening. What should I do? Well, try this and try that. You know what I mean? Like we don't, we're done with you now.
You're on your own. No, they're never
exactly. No. We're always there. We try to be anyway.
That's wonderful. And you can recommend vets, you can recommend procedures because you've been in the business for a long time.
Long time.
So you know what you're doing, you know what you're talking about, you know the animals.
My girlfriends from work, they call me before their vet. They do. Because, like, oh, I've got a senior dog. He's got the diarrhea. What can I do? I'll bring you some metronidazole when I'll bring that to you tomorrow at work. It's like Imodium for dogs.
Yeah.
I mean, that just saved her a $300 vet bill.
Yeah.
Because I've got the medication for diarrhea for dogs.
Yeah.
But yeah, people
That's
tend
wonderful.
to call me before they call their vets.
And that's good because you're a community.
We are.
You're a community and the volunteers. So you always need volunteers.
Always.
Anybody who loves animals and you have a heart for volunteer and you just want to do something out there, contact Jennifer. If you're not in the region and you're listening from somewhere else, contact your local shelters or your local pet rescues or volunteers. Do something. There's a lot of need for animals out there.
There are.
And I don't know if you mentioned this at the beginning, I'll mention it now. Costs money. Most of your volunteers obviously have jobs because they're volunteering. Mm-hmm. And so everything costs money. So if you don't have time to volunteer, donate. We'll take your money, right? No, we will. Not me. But
we also have our Ozzie store.
You have an Ozzie store?
And you can order stuff online. We have an Etsy store. I mean, if you don't want to just donate, buy a couple of t-shirts and I can put logos on them. Like I can do it, right? So, I mean, we do right now, Yellowstone apparel is very popular right now.
That's funny. Yeah.
I keep myself busy after my real job making Yellowstone shirts.
That's funny. Yeah.
But that money pays for the next dog that needs to go and get medical, like either a spay and neuter, a leg amputated, a wheelchair. We have one that's in foster right now. He's got congestive heart failure. He's 15 years old. He's healthy, but his meds cost me $85 a month. We have another one in foster. He's 12. He's a diabetic. So glucometer, sticks, like everything that comes up every month, so.
I never heard of that. A friend of mine was just telling me his cat's a diabetic and he has to give his cat shots every day. And I'm like, what? I've never heard of that in my life until like a month ago. And then now you're saying it again. That's interesting.
When, a couple months ago, I was sick. And I mean, I was sick. And because everybody was sick, antibiotics were hard to get.
Yeah.
Everything was on back order. I took the dog's antibiotics.
Yep.
Because I have them on the shelf. You know what I mean? Like it's the same stuff. Like they take doxycycline for many ailments. Well, we have Doxy as well for
Yeah,
people,
exactly. Yep.
you know? So, I mean, a lot of our meds is the same thing you can give a dog.
Yep. I know deworming, some of the deworming for humans is the
Yep.
same deworming for animals. So,
We use diatomaceous earth.
okay, I don't know what that is, but I'll trust you with that.
It's a natural product. It's a powder you put on their food. So
Okay.
it's good for fleas, ticks, and internal parasites.
Okay, good.
But it's natural,
Yes.
is what I like.
Me too. Yeah.
And colloidal
Also,
silver is, every dog owner should have that on their shelf at home.
colloidal silver.
Colloidal silver.
I'm gonna look that up.
It's the best antifungal antibiotic spray. If they get a scratch on their eye, it can go in their eye. They can drink it in their water. It can go on their skin. Like if they get a hot spot, you spray that on. It dries everything up the way it's supposed to, and it just flakes off. Especially with handicapped dogs, they drag their legs and they get open wounds. Within days, they're healed.
Wow,
That
wonderful.
stuff.
Hmm.
Colloidal silver.
Colloidal silver. Here's
Sold a lot
another
of
thing.
that.
Here's another thing I wanted to mention before we're done here. So we talked about rescue, we talked about adopting, fostering, donating, but also babysitting, but also let's just say you have a pet and it passes away, or for some reason you don't have a pet anymore, donating their supplies to you.
We take everything in.
Take those. So yeah, and then you can use those for the foster pets and
We do.
the ones that come into your service to be rescued. So anybody have any donations of not just funding, which is great, please donate, but any supplies, extra dog food that you may have, cat food that you may have. You don't really go into the other animals, right? So
I've adopted out a ferret. Like I mean, every week is different.
yeah,
It just,
you stick to dogs mostly.
We mostly stick to dogs. We do have one of our volunteers. She's our foster coordinator. She volunteers with a cat rescue as well.
Okay.
So any cat stuff, we send that with her, and she sends it off to the other rescue that she's with.
Okay, so they can still contact you because you have contacts.
Yep, absolutely.
Wonderful.
I have my contacts with other rescues for big dogs. Just because we don't have big dogs, then what I can do is if you apply for a dog, then I send that resume, like the application, over to another rescue that we work with, and they're the same. If they get like somebody interested in a small dog, they send them to us.
Right.
Or
So it's just a collaboration.
We do. And we are the only rescue in Niagara that adopts to senior people.
Senior people.
Yep.
Tell me about that.
Well, a lot of rescues are like, no, you're too old. Well, we rescue
wait.
dogs.
I'm sorry. You adopt animals for seniors.
Like we adopt them out to senior people.
Okay. I thought you said you adopt seniors. I'm like, what?
No. I think my husband would put his foot down on me bringing a bunch of seniors home. No, because we rescue senior dogs.
Yes.
Your 70-year-old grandmother or mother, they deserve a dog too. Right. So we have what's called a what's that form called now? It's a form that you have to get a family member to sign, that if anything happens to the adopter, because they are 70 or older, then that family member takes care of the dog or contacts us, and the dog comes back into the rescue.
Wow, that's wonderful. That's amazing. Thank you. Well, that's amazing. Thank you so much for what you do.
You're very welcome.
Thank you so much. And I ask my listeners, just think about it. Think about it. Sometimes because in Canada, we love our animals. We typically, farm animals, but typically our animals stay in the house with us. They sleep on our beds, whatever. So we don't tend to think about it a lot, but it's out there. Just think about the rescues, think about fostering, think about adopting, donating your finances to help fund, but donating your supplies as well. And, if there's anything going on, like pictures for Santa, or summertime, because you do different things throughout the years.
We do.
Cookie bakes for dogs.
beach parties where we do photo
Yeah.
shoots for the beach party. You know, we do Valentine's Day, we do Halloween, we do Easter.
Yeah,
We
everything.
always do photo shoots.
So just go out and if you have a pet, get your photo done. If you don't, just go donate a few funds. So thank you for what you do. And when you see your people that you were working with that we saw on Saturday, just say thank you again to them for us, please. And thank you
I
for
will.
everything they do.
And I thank you for donating your time.
Well, you know, I I was like, I can't do this. I'm going to take every single dog home. I was like, they were so amazing. But yeah, no, call me when you have things going on. Call me
Oh,
and my
I
daughter
will.
for sure. But I want to thank you so much, Jennifer, for what you do. Thank you
You're
for
very welcome.
the love, the support. Thank your husband for just saying okay, even though sometimes he doesn't have a choice.
I let him buy a 1949 GMC pickup.
There you go.
He keeps himself entertained.
That's perfect. And my listeners, Ozzie to the rescue.ca. Go check it out. Look around. She doesn't have a lot on her store on the website though. So if they want to go, you have an Etsy store, right?
We have an Etsy store. It's Ozzie to the Rescue Canada on Etsy, as well as we have Ozzie's store on Facebook.
Ozzie's store on Facebook. Okay,
Yes.
and I'll put some of that up here once it's all. They can see it at the end of the interview.
Okay.
So thank you. Thank you
You're
once
very
again.
welcome.
And for my listeners, thank you. Thank you for tuning in once again. And as I always say, like this, share this, tweet this, download this, send a pigeon, whatever you have to do, you make sure you continue listening to This Is Your City. Stay safe and stay blessed. Ciao.